Hello, my lovely peaches. How are you? It is Sunday, October 27th, 2024 at 7:38 p.m. You can see it over there. And I decided after all that I will go ahead and listen to Brian Boone's testimony at Sarah Boone's second-degree murder trial, which she's already been found guilty of second-degree murder. She was found guilty Friday, October 25th, 2024.
lovedreamingpeach.com.
Which was, let's see, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. So exactly 4 years and 8 months to the day that she was arrested on February 25th of 2020. Where's my phone? Hold on. Let me go get that. It's this kind of hair day right now. I just wanted to pop into the beginning of this video to say that I did find that the defense did not question Brian Boone. They said we'll call him back on when we do our case in chief, but they never called him back. I also found a half an hour audio of a police interview that he did after that initial body cam, but because it's half an hour, it would probably make this video twice as long if I tried to add it to this video. So another time I will go through that interview and react and stuff and listen to it, because there's no video as far as I know. It's only audio. So I'd like to hear what he said in that. So just so you know, comment if you're interested, give this video a like, and if you'd like for me to do that video as well, then let me know and I can work on that. So I just wanted to mention that. I realized after I've been making the video that exists. I just didn't get to it because it would be too long. All right, so I am going to open up Chrome and move myself over here. And so there's the testimony. You know what? Before I do his testimony, I will listen to him at the morning, or really the afternoon after George was dead. Sarah Boone called him. She doesn't call. In fact, she ignores multiple calls that he called her. Brian calling Sarah, ignored. And he went to her apartment, and then he was on the body cam, and this is what was said.
Just give us a second, okay? Somebody else come in and call a branch and text me. I can't move anything from out of the house.
She wants her Dr. Pepper. Wait, I'm going to go back.
Just give us a second, okay? Somebody else come in and call a branch and text me. I can't move anything from out of the house.
So we...
I want you to sit down, because I don't...
Hold on. I have to respond to that. So she had a Dr. Pepper on the counter? So my boyfriend is dead. I killed him. His dead body's still laying on my foyer floor. But I'm thirsty. I'm so thirsty. Can I have my Dr. Pepper? I'm so thirsty. Bitch. Because it's all about you, right? It's all about you, even though you literally murdered George and his dead body has not even been collected yet. It's about you. Okay. I believe that she woke up She cleaned up. She came up with a story. She came up with some kind of like, what am I going to tell them? Maybe she did the puzzle. Maybe she cleaned up. God knows what she cleaned up from whatever she beat him. Maybe she threw him down the stairs. Maybe she threw him down the stairs in the suitcase. So maybe she hit him with the bat and he fell down the stairs. Maybe she hit him with the bat and stuffed him in the suitcase and threw it down the stairs. I don't know. But anyhow, so she wakes up in the afternoon. Maybe she woke up first thing in the morning and was cleaning up. We don't really know. That's the whole thing. It's her word against a man who is not here to tell his side of the story, to defend himself, to say what she really did or what really happened. So whatever happened, there's a hair in my shirt. Whatever happened, and then she did whatever she did. Nobody saw, nobody knows. And then she told them what she told them. But I think that she was up, she was cleaning up, she knew he was there, she was allowing hours to go by without calling anyone, let alone an ambulance. And just her saying, my Dr. Pepper's on the counter. What the fuck? You got a Dr. Pepper out and you're drinking a Dr. Pepper while your boyfriend is dead? Oh, wow. Okay. Anyway, let's go.
Like you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? Sit. Just water. I can get you some water, okay? I want you not on your feet because I don't want you passing out on me.
I'm going to get this hair.
Okay, I'll get some for you.
He's trying to try to put you on it.
All right, there's Brian Boone. Let me turn this down.
Okay, so you don't live here in this house?
No. I live down in Lake Monaco.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of tell me how you came here today, or...
Well, I've been calling.
Come down here so we gotta talk.
Very windy.
Calling
You've been calling your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No, ex-wife.
Okay.
No. Ex-wife.
About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out this is supposed to be her day. So,
Okay.
she's generally not very good about always doing it.
But hold on, I'm going to go back because I was interrupting. Okay, so he said, I've been calling since 11:30. It's her day to pick up Lucas. She's generally not good with picking him up.
You've been calling your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No, ex-wife. We've been divorced about a year and a half. About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out.
So they've only been divorced about a year and a half, but she's been with George for 3. Okay.
This is supposed to be her day. So,
Okay.
she's generally not very good about always doing it.
They called back and said she was still there, or she came back.
All right, so he said about a year and a half.
11:30 is when I started calling.
11:30 is when I started calling to find out, because this is supposed to be her day to pick up our child.
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it.
She's generally not always very good about doing it.
They called back and
Tends to drink.
said she was still there, or she came
She's got a bit of a problem there.
back.
So I was calling to find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
So I was calling to find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
From school?
Yes.
Okay.
From
Yeah,
school.
So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then
She was back inside the lobby.
finally got a hold of her
Hold
at
on.
Now I'm getting cold again.
12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here.
She finally picks up and says, George is dead. Gonna come over?
And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Now I'm getting cold again.
12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here, so I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
or 12:49.
Wait. So this bitch did not wake up and call Brian. Brian was calling her every half an hour trying to see if she was going to pick up the kid, which she generally isn't very good at because she drinks and she's a problem with that.
9, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here, so I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then
Well,
basically
she's
she
sitting there
said she
drinking
needed
a
to go
Dr.
outside.
Pepper.
I was drinking a cigarette. I walked
Drinking a
back out the
cigarette.
house 'cause I
Drinking a
needed to go
cigarette.
outside, I was drinking a cigarette.
Have it.
Got over here, told her she needed to call what was going on and if I'd come over here, so I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside. I was drinking a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to
Who
be
called?
there.
Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called
Oh
me
wait,
back when I
damn!
was on my
I've
way
been.
to make sure.
Oh fuck! I didn't realize I was. I'm gonna go back because I didn't realize I cut his head off.
Calling.
Come back here and let's talk about it.
I've been calling some.
You've been calling your ex-wife or current wife?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Ex-wife. We've
Okay.
been divorced about a year and a half. About 11:30 is when I started calling to find out because this is supposed to be her day. So, her child.
Okay.
She's generally not very good about always doing it.
They called back and said she was still there, or she came back.
So I was calling to find out if she was going to be getting him or not today.
Cool.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I started calling like 11:30, called every half hour or so, and then
She was back inside the lobby.
finally got a hold of her
I'll
at
call back.
12:49, which is when she told me what was going on and if I'd come over here, so I came over.
She called at 12:45.
Yeah,
Okay.
or 12:49.
12:49.
Got over here, told her she needed to call 911, get somebody over here, and then basically she said she needed to go outside. I was drinking a cigarette. I walked back out the house because I didn't really want to
Who
be
called?
there.
Did you call or did she call?
Well, I called. She called me back when I was on my way to make sure I was coming over. But I called her
Give me 1
initially.
second, okay?
But I called her initially.
Do you have water in your car by any chance?
I don't think
Nothing?
No,
Okay.
No, I don't.
Okay, so she called, you get over here.
I called her first.
Okay.
Trying to find out if she's going to get Lucas. That's what everything was going on.
Lucas
I
is
got
their
my stuff
son.
Together, put the puppy up, and it's great. When I was starting to drive over here is when she called me to make sure I was coming.
So wait, he said he was calling to find out if she was going to pick up Lucas because normally she's not very good at it because she drinks and she's got a bit of a problem with that. And then at some point she picks up and tells him what's going on. And he asks if he'll come over. So he's putting the dog in the crate and heading over there. And she still didn't call 911. And then when he got there, he told her again, call 911. Wow. And she wanted a drink and a smoke.
Okay.
Trying to find out if she's going to get Lucas. That's what everything was going on. I got my stuff together, put the puppy up, and it's great. When I was starting to drive over here is when she called me to make sure I was coming, and then I got over here right after
Did you
that.
go inside and see and then?
I walked inside the front. I didn't do the front tile area.
Come on, step this way.
I saw legs.
He saw legs.
I didn't really want to
Very loud.
So,
He said, I only went to the tiled area. I saw legs.
I told her I didn't really want to be anywhere around it, so
I didn't really want to be anywhere around it. Nervous laughter.
Well, just for the sake of
around my leg.
I and see, and then
I walked inside the front. I didn't see the front tile area.
come on, step this way.
I saw legs.
I saw legs.
I didn't really want to be anywhere around it, so I told her.
Well, just for the sake of the crime scene, I want to know if I were to find your footprint, it would be because you went this far into the house. So did you actually make entry past the threshold?
I don't think I ever made it to the carpet. I think it was just in that. I've been over here before.
Right. Yeah.
But no, I don't think I stepped past
You
that
did. Okay.
tile area.
Smart
Okay.
dude.
So
I touched doorknob. I don't think I touched anything in the kitchen. I don't know if that really matters.
okay. So that's pretty much the gist of what you have. We'll sit tight for us. We're gonna make a few phone calls and then we'll go from there. Do you know if he has any medical issues or?
I don't.
Okay, but you've met him before.
I've met him before. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They've got a whole fun history.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You guys can call them this way.
For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been.
He said they have quite a fun history. You guys have been called over here quite a few times. You guys meaning the cops.
Medical issues or?
I don't.
Okay, but you've met him before.
I've met him before. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. They've got a whole fun history.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You guys can call them this way.
For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been arrested like 5 times.
Really? Okay, I'm not.
He's been, hold on.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You guys can call them this way.
For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been arrested like 5 times.
He said, you guys have been over here quite a few times. He's been arrested about 5 times for domestic violence against her. So, and now we know she was instigating, she was lying, she was baiting him, she was provoking him, she was abusing him and lying about him.
Really? Okay, I'm not familiar with. I haven't been here personally. So they have
He's currently on parole because of it. So
he's currently on parole because of it.
Okay. For the two of them?
Yeah, he's been arrested like 5 times.
Really? Okay, I'm not familiar with. I haven't been here personally. So they have
He's currently on parole because of it. So
because of domestic violence with her.
yes.
I'd guess that she was lying to Brian a lot as well. And Brian now knows the truth.
Okay.
Yeah, last time he got what do they call it? Retrial something or other. He had to go to a domestic violence class.
Okay.
I know he was doing it at a parole officer. Stuff
That
like
is
that.
true.
I mean, like, every time she happened arrested, the next day she was trying to get bailed out. So I don't know what it is.
Oh, she's getting one from the tap. Probably gonna pass out on it. Okay. Well, listen, please do me. I'll make a few phone
Not a problem.
calls.
I mean,
Where does your kid need to be picked up?
Lakeline Elementary.
How soon though?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock,
I
okay.
totally blew out.
Let me try and get this going for you because I know you need that.
18. So it's...
Martinez.
That doesn't make sense. 18. Maybe 6? Well, that can't be right. It's not 6 p.m. I don't know why that clock is wrong. Well, I think this is it for the...
Could you go ahead and give me his last name, Torres?
Okay.
J-O-R-E.
So that's what I wanted to show for the day of. All right, so before I get to the testimony, which is about 10 minutes or so at the trial, I wanted to just mention this video that I found. Sarah Boone's divorce court letter on SKR. And apparently, Sarah Boone, so this is from 2 weeks ago, she had been trying, she wrote a letter, or many letters. Listen, please see my list below. Please see list below of my letters sent to you and court per the Records Management Division of the Clerk of Courts when, for the third time, tried getting a copy of my active dissolution of marriage agreement. I cannot have because they are wanting payment in order to receive, and I am in jail forever. I also have no bank account after the one I had was closed after having for 30 years due to non-payment of alimony from former husband and stated in prior letters. And she's got a whole fucking bunch of letters. So wait, apparently she Judge Michael Dean. In all of my attempts, 16 plus, to protect myself and help from the still ongoing hate, lies, slander, degradation, cruelty, and active abuse from former husband Brian C. Boone, nothing has been improved, made better, corrected, relieved in any way for myself, the respondent, from former husband, the court or judge. I have tried everything. I have made innumerable requests and sent many letters asking for aid from all with no success or assistance, listening, or care by anyone other than myself, trying to relieve or altogether stop his inappropriateness, bitterness, anger, and wrongdoing. Not malicious, not intentional. Okay, wait. All right, let's see. So she sent a bunch of shit. You're pathetic, bitch. Okay, so apparently she was trying to get him to still pay her alimony. Appalling how uninterested, uncaring, and nonchalant you and the justice system are about my side in any of this, and I will not listen without the right paperwork and attorney, knowing I am actively being taken advantage of and wrongfully. Number 3. Mistreated by former husband, Brian C. Boone, whose name I still use. You have continuously enabled him and given him a self-appointed right and understanding to keep doing, saying, and taking everything wrongfully and illegally from me, including and especially the love and respect from my son. It is not okay. Girl, he took it, or you shit all over it and destroyed it, and maybe there never was any. Quote. Let me fast. You're hello, thumbs up. You're a killer. That's why I'm not doing anything in parentheses. Former husband said in front of son on phone. You're a killer. That's why I'm not. I guess that's why he's not giving her the money she expects him to still pay. If he said that, good for you, Brian Boone. Damn right, you should stick up for yourself and your son that she neglected and abused. My God, what he must have been through in the first 9 years of his life at her hands. So I would just say, most likely everything in there is a lie. She lies about everything. So Brian Boone saying, you're a killer, that's why I'm not doing anything. He probably never even said that. I wouldn't be surprised if he never said that. Just like George's family never said, you're a blue-eyed white devil or a blue-eyed white dragon. Like, she was like, she couldn't even remember the shit that she made up. Because it was like, she said it, and then like a little while later she said blue-eyed white devil. But then it was like, blue-eyed white dragon, like I told you. That's not what you said, bitch. Okay, anyway, so this is probably all lies, but I just wanted to go into, wow, she is, is there any bottom to her despicableness? So she claims that the son said, Dad says you're annoying and beg all the time. Son told me after asking him to ask former husband if he finally ordered a book and hot meal after being made to call daily to check for 13 weeks. She was made to call daily. No, maybe, girl, you should have got the hint. Then she also claims that the ex-husband, former husband on numerous dates, said, you're not important to anyone. I mean, no lies told. Well, I will say, Judge Kranick made her important, and the lawyers made her important, and the justice system cared enough about that she got a fair trial with adequate. I mean, she was given like 8 different lawyers and blew through them for whatever reasons. Let's say like Peter Trago says, let's say 4 of those were genuinely conflicted out. She got enough. Okay. So she's not important to anyone, and probably in Brian's life or in his son's life. And that's probably true. I lie to you because I can. Dad does all the time, supposedly said by the son. You make no difference in our lives. The former husband on numerous dates, September 14th of 2023 being the most recent. Well, you know what? If that's true that the husband said that, then that's probably his coping mechanism, because you know, he has a son to raise, a son who's been through so much and who spent the last almost 5 years wondering, is his extremely abusive mother, who's an actual murderer, going to get out of jail and wreak havoc in their lives again? Or will she be put away behind bars where she needs to be so they can finally fucking relax and live their lives? And that looks like that's what's going to happen. So let's get to this. All right, I'll close that. Recommend you go follow that. Oh, wait, you know what? I should have given it a like. All right, I'll do that after. Make sure I give this a like on Law and Crime. Wow, it's got 4 million views. Okay, that was from July 13th of 2022. Close that out. Make sure I give this one a like. This is Court TV. This is from 9 days ago. This was the first day of testimony. Let me make sure the captions are on and the volume is up. All right. I haven't really watched his testimony. I was kind of working that day.
State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury? Yes. All right, y'all can be seated. Thank you.
There's the suitcase in the box and the bat.
Members of the jury, good afternoon. I hope you enjoyed your lunch. If you could, again, by a show of hands, confirm that you complied with the court's instructions that we gave prior to the break. Record reflect all jurors' hands have been raised. With that, the state is going to continue with their evidence presentation this afternoon. State, you may call your next witness.
State, call Brian Boone.
Five and a half hours in. So right as Brian is walking up to the witness stand, Sarah's leaning over and she says something kind of forcefully to James Owens, her defense lawyer. Then she leans in again and says something else. And then she's doing this like little shoulder shake kind of move, like she's so haughty, she's got power or control or something. And the fact that it looks like he also says, okay, we'll wait. And then he never asks any questions. He says, I'll ask him questions when, on my case, he's subject to recall. He was never called back. Probably because he had nothing but bad shit to say about that murderer, the killer, who doesn't matter. She's irrelevant. To day one. There he is. He's been through so much.
Yes. Sir, good afternoon. You could be seated. After seated, if you could please state and spell your name for the record for us.
Brian Boone, BRIAN, BOONE.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us how it is that you know the defendant?
I dated her for quite a while, and then we eventually got married.
When you say you dated her for quite a while, how long are we talking?
I met her in the late 90s, and I believe it was around 2005 when we got married.
Did you have any children as a result of your marriage with the defendant?
Yes, we had one son.
And how old is that son?
He is currently getting ready to turn 14.
Wow.
Did your marriage with the defendant...
2024.
No, it did not.
And
Wait, I'm sorry.
Did your marriage with the defendant last?
No, it did not.
And approximately when was it that you separated and began proceedings for a divorce?
Probably 2017, something.
Wow. So 2005 to 2017, that's 12 years, and then they were together for quite a while before. Wow.
Thinking maybe.
And at that time, when was your divorce actually finalized?
Maybe it was 2006. I think the divorce was 2017. I believe.
And after your divorce, what was your custody arrangement with your son that you had in common with the defendant?
She was supposed to have him on Mondays and Tuesdays. I would have him Wednesday, Thursdays, and then we'd alternate Friday through Sundays every other week.
So 1 week you would have 5 days with your son, and another week she would have 5 days with him.
Correct.
And was this still the same custody arrangement in February?
Well, I'm just stopping for a second because if you go back and see, it's been a little bit of a jump of a minute because I had to pause and start making dinner, and I have about 25 minutes till the timer rings. About 25 minutes until the dinner is ready. So I just wanted to say that. And I also wanted to say, I don't know if I've already mentioned that I didn't really listen to Brian Boone's testimony because when I was watching day one, I think I was like kind of working and it was all in the background, so I never really listened. So anyway, let's continue.
Was this still the same custody arrangement in February of 2020?
Yes.
And in February of 2020, do you recall the events that occurred, I guess, first on the late evening of February 23rd, 2020?
On that evening?
Yes.
Well, apparently, Sarah called me at one point during the night.
about what time she called you?
I think it was 11 something.
When you answered the phone, how did Sarah sound on the phone?
She sounded like she had been drinking, was pretty drunk.
Oh my goodness. He picked up.
February 23rd, 2020.
On that evening?
Yes.
Well, apparently, Sarah called me at one point during the night.
Do you recall about what time she called you?
I think it was 11 something.
When you answered the phone, how did Sarah sound on the phone?
She sounded like she had been drinking, was pretty drunk.
Were you able to understand what the defendant was saying?
Somewhat, but she woke me up. I had work the next day. I was asleep when she called. She's done this before, calling me late at night, and generally I kind of just try to ignore it, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Wow.
Who was she living with at the time?
George Torres?
When she called you late that evening, could you hear George in the background at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Did you pay much attention to this phone call?
No.
Now, the following morning, on February 24th, 2020, more attention to this phone call?
No.
Could you hear George in the background at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Did you pay much attention to this phone call?
No.
Now, the following morning, on February 24th, 2020, did you begin to call the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And approximately what time did you begin to call the defendant?
I think...
I just want to pause to say a comment that somebody wrote about Judge Cranick, which was, no sneeze goes unblessed in Judge Cranick's courtroom.
Begin to call the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And approximately what time did you begin to call the defendant?
I think it was like 11 o'clock or something.
And why was it that you were calling her?
Well, it was going to be Monday. I had him on Sunday and dropped him off at school, and I was calling to try to find out if she was going to be actually picking him up that day.
Why would you have a question about whether or not she was picking him up?
She wasn't generally very good about actually getting him on the day she was supposed to.
So it was not uncommon for you to have to remind her to pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up?
Well, I mean, remind or just find out if she was going to, or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually...
Just think of how relieved he must have been when she finally was behind bars and he could just raise his son and not have to deal with her insanity.
Pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up?
Well, I mean, remind or just find out if she was going to, or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually got in touch with the defendant?
I think it was like 12:30 or something.
And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
So 9:49, a little bit of jump in time because I had to go make dinner and then eat dinner. Okay, so let's get back.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually got in touch with the defendant?
I think it was like 12:30 or something.
And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Did she
That George
with her? And when you actually got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Did she say what happened to him?
I don't remember if she told me then on the phone or when I got there, but she told me they had been playing hide and seek and that she fell asleep.
What did you advise her to do?
I told her she needed to call 911 and that I would come over as soon as I could.
And this is on your first phone call here at approximately 12:30.
Yes.
On 2/24/20.
Yes.
Did she call you again while you were en route to her residence?
She did. She called to find out if I was still going to be coming over.
And when you spoke with her while you were en route, what, if anything, did you advise her?
I told her she needed to call 911 and told her I was on my way, but she needed to get somebody over there.
How long did it take you to arrive at her residence?
From the first phone call, or?
Yes, from the first phone.
I mean, I live a minute or two drive away, but I had to get my puppy. We had just gotten a puppy recently. I had to get him in his crate and stuff like that and put something on because I was working from home. And total time, maybe 10 minutes.
When you arrived at her apartment, tell us what she told you.
I just want to say, he was working from home. He had a puppy he's taking care of. He'd already dropped his kid off at school. He's calling his ex-wife to make sure that his son is going to be picked up. And she tells him George is dead, and he drops everything and gets himself there within 10 minutes.
When you arrived at her apartment, tell us what she told you.
I wanted to go back and just hear it one more time.
I mean, I live a minute or two drive away, but I had to get my puppy. We had just gotten a puppy recently. I had to get him in his crate and stuff like that and put something on because I was working from home. And total time, maybe 10 minutes.
When you arrived at her apartment, tell us what she told you when you arrived.
George was dead, and I don't remember if she told me now or before that they had been playing hide and seek and she fell asleep, but I at that time told her again she needed to get 911 called to get somebody over there.
Had she called 911 at this point?
No, she had not.
So, when she called 911, she was like pretending, I think, to do CPR. When the police came, she said that she came down and did CPR before she called 911. Just more lies.
Her apartment. Tell us what she told you when you arrived.
George was dead, and I don't remember if she told me now or before that they had been playing hide and seek and she fell asleep, but I at that time told her again she needed to get 911 called to get somebody over there.
Had she called 911 at this point?
No, she had not.
So you've advised her now 3 times to call 911.
Yes.
Did you go inside of her apartment?
I walked in the front door into the little tiled area, like entranceway thing.
What, if anything, did you observe when you made it to that point?
Looking into the living room, I could see like the end of his feet and maybe a little bit of some legs that were kind of coming out around the backside of the kitchen area.
Did you continue to go into the apartment?
No.
Where did you go?
Sarah told me she was going to call 911 and go outside and have a cigarette and a drink and asked me to come out there with her. And I told her that I didn't really feel comfortable being inside. And I went out front and got in my car and waited for people to show up.
Did you witness the defendant call 911?
I think I was in there when she dialed it and first got somebody on the phone, but I wasn't there for the whole conversation. No, I was outside.
Did you stay there at the scene while police arrived?
Yes, I was there. I was part of it. I knew I'd have to talk to somebody, so.
Did you talk with law enforcement?
I did.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
We want to reserve our questions for when we call in our case.
Okay. All right, sir. You're subject to recall.
Okay.
Did they call
Thank
him
you.
though? Wait, I
As
don't.
long as he remains under subpoena.
That's my understanding. He's subject to recall.
So somebody will contact me about that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, he's such a nice guy. I don't think they ever called him back. I have to double check that. Did they ever
Steve,
call him
you may
back?
call your next witness.
Your Honor, may we approach a moment?
Yes.
Okay. Hold on, let me see. Well, move that. I don't remember him ever coming back to testify further. And I didn't find anything about him testifying again. I don't think that they had anything to call him back for because he didn't have anything good to say. And now that I saw that letter on SKR, I think it was SKR, the SKR YouTube channel with the letter about Sarah Boone incessantly calling and writing and trying to get her alimony. Oh, that's something I want to look up. Actually, maybe I can do that real quick. I wanted to see, does she still get her alimony? That's right. Peter has done so many
frustrating as it may be, as eye-rolling as some of these letters may be, this is why we need to get that criminal case to trial.
A year ago he did this
delays.
one.
We don't need lawyers that aren't going to help her. You sign up to get appointed, do your job. Let's get this case to trial. Let's get some finality and resolution. And if she wins, it would be pretty sad at how this system has gone for her as she's sitting presumed innocent in jail, accused of a crime but not convicted.
She ain't innocent, Peter. Let's see. Oh, wait, the light was on.
Expertise and specialty. Somewhat earlier the city to read letter from respondent and schedule case management hearing, and we're going to hear.
So this is the same letter that I already
the way and form
read a little bit of.
Drafts or motions.
But let's see.
Wanting.
So.
Judicially, you must know this is wrong and how I am being treated.
Let's see. I want to know what Peter has to say.
custody because she is nonetheless the mother of his child. Now, I have to step in and say the hard truth here, that her husband is able to have this effect on her son because she is not able to take care of her son. She's not able to even split custody because of her being in jail, decisions that she's made, statements she's made to law enforcement, things that have happened in her life. By her own words, things that she's admitted, whether or not she's guilty of the crime charged.
She is. Okay, but this was a year ago. So, let's see, was there a reply? To Sarah Boone. I just want to pause and read this little bit that you can see. June 29th, 2023, to Sarah Boone, P.O. Box, her prison, I guess, in Orlando, Florida, regarding family law matters. Dear Miss Boone, we have reviewed your letter requesting legal assistance. This letter is to inform you that the Legal Aid Society of the Orange County Bar Association, Incorporated, will not be able to assist you regarding family law matters. Our office receives hundreds of requests each month for free legal assistance. While we would like to help as many applicants as possible, due to limited staff and other resources, we are unable to assist everyone who contacts us. As a result, we have established case acceptance priorities to address the most pressing needs of our client community, and thus we do not accept matters that involve alimony or custody/time sharing on behalf of a parent who does not have the child residing with them for at least 50% of the time. Our consideration of your case was limited, and our decision not to provide legal assistance, and then that's where it cuts off. Now pausing this filing was e-filed on October 17th of 2023 in the Circuit Court of the 9th Judicial Circuit in and for Orange, Florida. Brian C. Boone is the petitioner and Sarah K. Boone is the respondent. Order following case management conference. This cause having come before this court for the case management conference on October 16th of 2023, and the court having heard from all parties present, finds and orders as follows. Both parties appeared for the case management conference, which included a motion to withdraw by the respondent's counsel, Frank Bankowitz. There were no objections to the withdrawal of respondent's counsel. Frank Bankowitz is hereby removed as counsel for the respondent. Counsel will provide a more formal proposed order for this removal to be signed by the court within 10 days. Okay, and then the case management conference discussed the status of the case, including the petitioner's request for a reduction or elimination of alimony and for relocation. Oh, he wants to move. He's like, I'm out. I ain't paying this bitch. I don't need to stay here. I'm out. Me and my kid are going to go live a new life somewhere else. The respondent is currently incarcerated in the Orange County Jail, pending trial on a charge of second-degree murder. The court cannot hear the respondent's motion for contempt regarding unpaid alimony until after a final hearing is held on the respondent's petition for reduction or elimination of alimony. See Rosenblum v. Rosenblum, and which reversed a trial court's contempt order because it was issued before the modification action was heard. The respondent expressed frustration at not having matters heard and not being adequately informed about her case. Okay. So, let me see if there's anything else. The court explained that the family case is on hold pending the outcome of the respondent's criminal case. The court finds that the permanent decisions regarding relocation and alimony should be postponed until the adjudication of the respondent's criminal case so that circumstances are clearer. AKA, bitch, you in jail, and we want to know if you're going to be staying in jail. Number 11. The respondent was informed that she may opt for a final hearing on the petitioner's petition for alimony reduction, elimination, and her own contempt motion, but that the court would have to consider her status of incarceration when making determinations. 12. The respondent was advised to ensure that any motions filed conform to the Florida Family Rules of Procedure and the Florida Rules of General Practice and Judicial Administration. This includes utilizing proper captions, titles, and certificates of service. Ordered, Orlando, Orange County, Florida, on this 16th day of October 2023. Michael Dean. So, interesting. So it's very possible that Brian Boone may be awarded the granting of the ceasing of his alimony. In other words, the judge may say, you do not need to pay any longer because she is incarcerated for second-degree murder, and most likely she will get life imprisonment, minimum of 22 years. I do not believe the judge is going to do minimum on her because of all of the exacerbating circumstances and the heinousness of the crime. My dissolution of marriage agreement is still active until 2025. Let's see, what's this?
Ordering following case management conference.
When was this from?
After her leg.
So this is filed October 17th of 2023. Brian Boone. Okay.
So it's after, filed 17th, but he signed in 16th, after her letter. Ordering following case management conference, this cause, and again, this is the family law case, Brian Boone petitioner, Sarah Boone respondent. Case management conference on October 16th, so she got her wish. Here's the order. Both parties appeared, including a motion to withdraw by respondent's counsel Frank Bankowitz. No objection to withdraw. Bankowitz is hereby removed as counsel for the respondent. Counsel shall provide more formal proposed order in this removal within 10 days. Case management conference discussed the status of the case. Now, what's weird is Bankowitz is appointed as her criminal counsel, so I don't know what work he was doing on this case. Kind of strange. I don't know if he was submitting his hours and getting paid to also work for this case, or if it was just an addition for her to say she has no lawyer anywhere, so we need to continue this. I'm not really sure how the family law court handles when criminal counsel.
Let's see what else.
Asked the court to reduce or eliminate the alimony. Sarah Boone's life doesn't quite cost what it used to. / maybe we should eliminate it based on the circumstances we're dealing with, Judge.
Yes, let's see.
Respondent is currently incarcerated in Orange County Jail pending a trial on a charge of second-degree murder. We know about that case. The court cannot hear respondent's motion for contempt, that's Sarah Boone's motion for contempt, regarding unpaid alimony until after a final hearing is held on the respondent's petition for reduction or elimination of alimony. So basically, they're saying we can't hold Brian Boone in contempt for not paying the alimony until we hear his motion to see if that alimony should be eliminated in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So first they're going to hear, should the alimony be reduced or eliminated?
Right.
And then if the answer to that is no, it shouldn't be eliminated, then maybe Sarah Boone will win her contempt hearing. But if he does win and the judge does eliminate the need for alimony or reduce it greatly because of her new circumstances that weren't in place when they made their agreement, then maybe it's null and void. The respondent expressed frustration, that's Sarah Boone, at not having matters heard and not being adequately informed about her case. The court explained that the family case is on hold pending the outcome of the respondent's criminal case.
Ew.
Exactly what Sarah Boone's son heard or said, or what her ex-husband said. A lot of this is on hold until we find out what happens in the criminal case. That's from the judge's own words here.
Damn.
The court finds that permanent decisions regarding relocation and alimony should be postponed until the adjudication of the respondent's criminal case so that circumstances are clear.
All right.
What's the long-term view here? What's going to happen to Sarah Boone? Now, it's interesting. I don't know. What do they do with the alimony in this time period? I kind of feel like the judge should make some kind of call, at least in the interim, where Sarah Boone is sitting in jail. At least maybe this alimony should go into the court's registry or some kind of escrow account, like I said. But I don't know. The respondent was informed.
All right, let me see if Peter...
for a final hearing on the petitioner's
jump
petition for alimony reduction elimination at her own, and her own contempt motion, but that the
it's
court...
a year old. Let's see if he did anything updated about that in particular, or possibly, I would guess it's possible that it's going to happen. It's going to she's going to have her sentencing hearing on December 2nd. That's when it's scheduled for. And so they're going to probably figure it out after that, you know. I'm just trying to see if any of his videos recently talked about motion 9, you know. I don't know how I could look for it. Let's see. Cuffs are coming off. Yeah. That was so sad when they were like, can we take the chains off of her because she wants to stand up? It was like, nah. She's an inmate. Keep him on. She's an inmate. She's gonna stay an inmate. I have a yawn. Oh, you can see it's 10:14 p.m. and on a Sunday, and it's a school night. So, you know what? Actually, now that I think about it, this video is getting really long, and it's going to be like 35 gigs or more. Hopefully not. So it's going to be a struggle to save on my computer if it gets any bigger. So I'll leave it at that, and, you know, I'll follow up if Peter or anybody follows up with, you know, I mean, I can't imagine they're going to make Brian Boone pay a penny towards her now. It's like they were divorced. They were divorced a year and a half before this ever happened. Hopefully he's been putting money in an account that can now go right back to him so he can go do something with it for him and his son. And now he can finally, you know, not only can George Torres's family feel some relief, very bittersweet that is. You know, we'll find out in December whether she's going to be in jail for 22 years or 35 or life. You know, the judge has it at his discretion, and he may find, which I think would be totally reasonable, that there were so many aggravating factors in this murder, and I feel like, so Peter was leaning more towards like manslaughter, and I was leaning more towards first degree. Like, you talked about getting rid of him a month before. You called the cops on him. You abused him. Everything, just like his daughter said, everything that was cunning and manipulative and calculated. Like, she held his birth certificate hostage as a way of trying to get leverage to make him come back so she could get a hug. Like, she was so sick and twisted. She's like hugging on a cop, and it's just, it's sad. It's sad that she's that unhealthy, that she's that unwell, that she killed someone, and she has a son that has to heal from having a murderer as a mother. So that's it for now. All right, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, share the video if you have any friends who are into this kind of thing. Leave a comment, ask a question, drop an emoji. I like the peach emoji, the unicorn emoji, rainbow emoji. I like weather emojis. So at the sentencing hearing, the victims of Sarah Boone's crime are allowed to make victim impact statements, which can go towards, lowering her sentence, keeping it at the bare minimum, or increasing the sentence. So if George's family speaks out, if Brian Boone speaks out, I don't know, probably her minor child won't. People can write letters or statements and then have somebody else read them. The prosecutor said he needed about 15 minutes for 2 to 3 statements, but hopefully more people will at least be willing to write something if they're, too nervous or shy or whatever it is to get up and actually speak. But the more people who speak about how Sarah Boone murdering George and how that impacted their life negatively and still does. For example, his youngest daughter saying that she went through a very, very, very dark period where she struggled and suffered, and is likely all of them will continue to have the obvious struggles that anybody would have of not having a parent in their life, but add that the trauma of that parent was actually murdered, and add the trauma that it was so unnecessary, so preventable, that it was done from jealousy and rage and this desire to control George, and out of this absolute spite and disrespect and hatred for everyone in his life that cared about him and loved him and wanted him in their lives and wanted him to be healthy, which meant getting away from Sarah. So hopefully everybody who was impacted will either speak or at least have a statement that can be read out by someone else, and then that will go towards, I truly believe she should go to jail for life. The fact that Susan Smith has been in jail for 30 years and is supposedly coming up for potential parole. Susan Smith, if you don't know her, in the 90s, she unalived her 2 babies. And, one version of the story is that she had kid after kid and she wasn't supposed to have any, and she was severe postpartum and nobody was giving her the help she needed, and then they were leaving her alone, and they left her alone even though they weren't supposed to leave her alone, and she had some kind of awful episode. But then there's this other version of the story that she had a boyfriend who didn't want kids, and so she was doing what was convenient for her, and it was horrific. So I saw a little clip of a video today where her ex-husband was speaking about his fear, the terror that he lives with, that she may walk out of there someday. So thinking about it from that perspective, and thinking about it from the fact that my children are just about that age. One of my kids is about a year and a half or so older than Sarah and Brian's son Lucas, and my other son is about a year younger than him. So I can absolutely relate to being a mom of a child that age, and knowing that the 9 years that Sarah was in Lucas's life, she was a raging alcoholic. She was a controlling, absolute narcissist who was abusive, verbally abusive, who used him as a pawn. And I know a lot about that, motherfucker. I know how goddamn damaging it is to be used as a pawn by your biological mother just so she can specifically hurt your biological father, get money out of him, and create a narrative and situations and lies and all that stuff so that she can get whatever she wants and needs by either neglecting the child, shirking them off on someone else, leaving them in the hands of someone who may abuse them or also neglect them, or pawning them off completely to the other parent. In this case, my dad, or I should say in this case, it was similar because my biological mother abandoned me and my sister and ended up, thank God she did that. The worst thing she ever did was the best thing she ever did. And that allowed my dad and my mom to swoop in to save us, to get full-time custody of us, and to raise us without the chaos and the mental illness, madness, lies, the web of deceit and destruction and absolute mayhem that she created, my biological mother, and similarly Sarah Boone. Again, these are the reasons why I personally get interested and involved in certain cases, even though I despised that woman and I was like, yuck, you scare me. I don't want to go anywhere near you. It ended up being interesting. And the fact that even more things came out about this mofo, BITC, the fact that she actually beat him with a bat. Oy. And all those the videos that she took abusing him and using him, and somebody's texting me, yes, I will vote for Kamala. I already did. Yes, I will vote for Kamala and Walz because I've already done it. Let me put this over here. All right. So just adding these thoughts that, people might look at her and say, oh, was it really that bad? She should be able to get paroled out in 30 years. She was a victim too. No, she wasn't. No, she wasn't. Just like I believe, like many people said, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, oh, they were mutually abusive. No, it doesn't work like that. When you're a sweet, kind person and you just want to chill and live life, and then some motherfucker is abusing you verbally, lying to you physically, hurting you, harming you, manipulating you, isolating you, doing all kinds of calculating, evil tactics, cunning, twisted, illogical, unhinged, mentally unwell, sadistic things. Purely out of spite, hatred, no self-esteem, all the things. And then you start to respond, you react, you get angry, you push back. That is not mutual abuse, motherfuckers. People have a right to defend themselves. Just like I've said in countless comments of videos and maybe even in my own videos, if George had gotten out of that suitcase and he had KILL'd her, then he could have rightfully and righteously used the defense that she tried to use. Battered spouse syndrome, self-defense. She was literally murdering me. She was beating me with a bat and stuffing me into a suitcase, and she zipped me in, and she did kill him. She murdered him. And God knows if she threw him down the stairs. Did she hit him with the bat at the top of the stairs? Did he say, I'm getting my suitcase and I'm leaving you, Sarah? And she said, oh yeah, motherfucker. She picked up the bat. She said, boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. He went. There was yells. There was arguing. Like the neighbors said, they heard it. They heard the boom, 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 boom. They heard boom, 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 boom. They heard arguing, 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 arguing. Boom, 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 boom. Shaking the walls. Boom, 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 boom. Silence. And then we know. That's why I think he probably was bang, 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 bang. I don't know. I don't even know. Maybe he was so drunk. He was so like, whoa, by the time he got down, maybe she knocked him down and threw the fucking suitcase after him. Ran downstairs and stuffed his fucking ass in it. She knew exactly how he was, too. She was like, no, he was on his side with his head and his, over there. His knees were there and did it. And she got up that suitcase and she was like, it was like this. She had no like, ugh, that's where he died. I can't touch this thing. Like, oh my God, that's like literally where he died. That's where I murdered him at. No, she was like, yep, it was like this. Oh, it's a little bit harder than it was. And then she said about the bat back on the stand. You want me to show you? No, bitch, we don't want you to show us how you supposedly poked. She might as well have just said, I snuggled and cuddled him with the bat. We were laughing and having fun while I went whack, whack, whack. I personally believe and feel and hope and wish that she will get no parole. Life without parole, because why should her child, who's almost 14 years old, have to be 44 years old and worried about her getting out? Why should Brian Boone have to worry about her getting out when after he's raised the kid, hopefully had a life, hopefully they're doing well and thriving, and then she's going to get out? You know she's going to go right to them. You know she's going to harass them. She's probably going to be harassing them with letters until they finally move away somewhere where she cannot reach them and she doesn't know their no forwarding address. And then goodbye. Don't ever let her out. Why would you let somebody like that out? I personally think that those videos of her abusing him, the fact of how she stole his paperwork, claimed it was hers. Just because your name is on it doesn't make it yours. It's mine. I worked for it. I paid for it. No, motherfucker. Just because you did some administrative tasks for somebody does not make his government paperwork yours, you psycho bitch. So my vote is life without the possibility of parole. She's 47 years old. She shouldn't get out when she's 77. She shouldn't get out when she's 87. No. Why should she? George is never getting out of the ground or wherever he is. George is never getting up again. She put that man in his coffin for no reason other than she's a psycho killer. Qu'est-ce que c'est? All right, hopefully this video will save, because now it's going to be about an hour and a half or so. Okay, see you in the next one. Don't forget to leave a comment, leave a question, a like, a share, a subscribe, hit the bell notification, and watch the playlist, and see all my other videos, all my other Just popping in to share one last thought that I had as I'm editing. My own biological mother did not kill anybody. But it's been 45 years since she's been in my life actively. And I've thought about it a lot as far as, would I ever want to have her back in my life in any capacity? And actually, several months ago, I guess technically it would be my first cousin. I have two first cousins because my biological mother, who's still alive and probably lives about 35 to 45 minutes from where I live, or within an hour of me, I guess. And she's a sister who has two kids. I don't know how old they are, but I think they're in their 30s. I don't know. Like, we were gone before they were born, so all they know about us is the lies that they were told. So one of them reached out to me via email. I created a Facebook page specifically so I could find my biological mother about 15 years ago to say, hey, bitch, I still hate you, but I don't hate you. I sent a long, like 70-page letter basically saying, like, I release you from the hatred that I've had for you my whole life because it's going to poison me. I don't ever want to see you again. I don't, anything you say, I'm going to automatically believe it's lies. But feel free to say whatever you want to say. I'll read it. And through that, but I got her email by Google searching, finding my cousins, Facebook messaging them from my fake, just only special just for this Facebook account that I made. And anyway, somewhere in there, they told me via the messages that they were told that we disappeared, that she lost us, like she was the victim of us disappearing. And that my biological father was not the victim, but was the perpetrator, and lied and brainwashed us that she was a monster. So anyways, this motherfucking cousin who don't know shit but lies sent me a message some months ago. Could be a year for all I know now. Remember. Saying like, oh, your biological mother is such a nice lady, and if only you knew, and I don't know what they told you. I don't know what your father told you about her. And that unleashed this whole long thing that I wrote and sent it to both of them, and then found out that the other cousin is already estranged. She's totally disassociated from them. She doesn't speak to any of them, including her brother. And I was like, oh, wow. Good for you. God knows what abuse she went through. And I unleashed and I told them everything. And it's like, you don't know shit, mofo. It's easy to have an opinion like, oh, that's your mother. You should give her another chance. Oh, you should forgive her. Oh, you should just find it in your heart. No, absolutely not. And I said, I don't care if she gets sick. I don't care if something falls off. I don't care if she's on her deathbed. You don't even need to let me know that she's dead, because guess what? Her ailments, her dying, is not an excuse to be reaching out to me. It had nothing to do with me. Okay? The fact that she's going to get old and die is just a fact of life, like everybody. Your abusers getting old is not an excuse for them to suddenly reach out to you. The fact that you're going to get old and die is no burden of mine. And I told them, I don't want to know. Unless you got some money to fucking donate or an inheritance to me, you want to cover the first 18 years of my life that you didn't pay a penny for? No? Okay. Like Sarah Boone, she's out here she's trying to get her ex-husband to pay her alimony while she is in jail for murdering her boyfriend. That's not the kind of person that you want coming out 30 years later so they can knock, knock, knock on your door and be like, hey, mommy dearest is home. No. That's the kind of motherfucker who might come out and strangle your ass. Kill you, kill the kid, kill your new wife, kill the dog. Like, God knows. Somebody like that is psycho. Okay? The things that she did and said are utterly insane. And if I can say, okay, I'm not putting my biological mother in prison. Maybe she should go there because God knows what else she's done. But the prison that the life without parole sentence that my biological mother gets is you don't ever get to see me again or speak to me again. You don't ever get to meet my children. You don't get to know their names, their birthdays, and how they look, nothing. She wouldn't even have known that I had kids if I don't know how she found out. Somewhere she saw it or something, or maybe she asked me and I was like, fuck it. I don't remember exactly how. I don't think I told her. Anyway, and the last contact that I had with my biological mother was via email, Facebook email, about 5 years ago or something. Maybe more. Maybe like 7 years ago. I don't know. And, oh wait, no, that was like, I think it was like 4 or 5 years ago, where I said, why were you a sex worker and the guy that molested me was the man that you lied that was my father, that you knew he wasn't my father. And she was like, oh yeah, he was spiteful. Check out this article on the Honest Courtesan. It's just a job. Okay. You casually destroyed my life in many, many ways. And, oh, and she said, I have no shame. And imagine that on the scale of a murderer. Sarah Boone has no shame. Sarah Boone, any remorse or sorrow that she feels is for her own inability to get away with it. For her own dumbass not deleting all those videos. They probably would have found it anyhow. But I don't think for 1 second that she regrets that she actually did the thing. Like, I bet you there's not a moment where she, I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe she sat there thinking, why didn't I let him out? Why? But I think that her remorse has everything to do with, why didn't I cover it up better? Why didn't I have a better lie? Why didn't I get rid of him somehow? Why didn't I put the suitcase in my fucking car and go drive it off and throw it in the lake? You know, that's what I think that's the kind of person I think she is. Not that she's sitting there remorseful about all the wrongs that she did, but that she's remorseful about the wrongs that she did, which led her to get caught, meaning how she fucked up her crime. The wrong things she did that made her get caught. That's what I think probably keeps her up at night. The fact that she wasn't able to convince people of her lie. Not because she's sad about what she did and the pain that it caused George, his children, his parents, his siblings, his cousins, his aunts, his uncles, his everything. No, she doesn't care about any of that. She's probably actually happy, as you could see in many times when she was smiling very bizarrely in a way where it was like, whoa, you're smiling, and that is chilling. Right now, for real, goodbye. See you.
At lovedreamingpeach.com.